The purpose of this video is to review some of the highlights of the article that covers performance review and promotion. Our intent in drafting this article was to provide clarity on how lecturer or faculty will be evaluated and under what conditions we can be promoted. As you can see in the statement of purpose, what we've really tried to highlight here is that our reviews should be part of a professional development process, so that we should be getting candid, respectful, and objective feedback that can better help us reach our professional goals and to perform the activities that are part of our workload. Accordingly, it may be best if you look at this article in conjunction with workload activities of lecturer or faculty. These two articles go together quite nicely. Also acknowledged here is that in addition to our teaching responsibilities, lecturers perform many other job tasks, such as professional and service responsibilities, and we want to have some clarity about how those will be counted as we are reviewed and promoted. Cornerstone to providing evidence to support our performance reviews is going to be the self-reports that we'll be conducting as part of our faculty annual reporting. For some lecturer faculty, we're quite accustomed to doing an annual report, but for others, this is going to be a change. Now, this is really quite important, and the union wants to ensure that all of our members are capturing as many of our activities and putting these in the FAR as you possibly can, whatever it is that you're doing. Now, the union is likely to be organizing a training session on the FAR, but until we do that, it's really important for all of us to go in and start to fill in our FAR and put in as many activities as we think are relevant. Sometimes there may not be a great categorization for it, or there may be something that you're doing that doesn't have a clear-cut box into which it can fall. But really the most important thing is to keep it all organized and get this in place. It's easier to remember things now as we're doing them rather than trying to go back and reconstruct them. But even if you need to go back and reconstruct the last couple of years, it really is important to take the time and do that. Another element to reporting is that we should be keeping all of our materials, keeping copies of our syllabi, any innovations that we are developing in class, as well as other types of materials. Now, these other materials might be things that might traditionally not be part of a promotional package. Things like letters from students, the email that you get after a student was in your class a couple of years ago and they reach back out. All of these things can become part of the narrative that you create for your own promotional consideration. A significant change that this article is going to be introducing is that lecturers are going to now have regular reviews as part of our appointments. Now, we all understand that being reviewed can be a stressful process. And while it's true that these reviews are going to be an assessment of our overall performance, what we really want to highlight here is that this review is also going to be an opportunity for us to discuss with our chairs areas of excellence, areas of innovation in our pedagogy, areas of growth. So we see this as a big win for us. It gives us an opportunity to be able to discuss things that are going well as the things that maybe we need to make improvements in. And if we're underperforming or we have weaknesses in some area, we need to be told how we can improve. So by documenting where we're doing things well as where we may need to make adjustments and improvement, this article is establishing a foundation for us to have documented excellence as well as to be given support and assistance from the university in tapping into university resources to help us better develop professionally. Our annual reviews are going to be based on, like I said, more than just student course evaluations. The student course evaluations don't go away, but those are now going to be augmented with classroom observations and any of the information that we report as part of our FAR. Our classroom observations will be announced observations that can be conducted either by our chair or their designee and can be physical or virtual means. So this means that if it's difficult for someone to get into your class to observe you, you could record the session in Integrity or some other venue, and that could be made available to your chair or their designee by virtual means. A key piece of this chair's assessment is that there is going to be a written assessment of our performance, of what the department chair sees, and that this will be included in our personnel files. For those of you who are interested, we have a separate article on personnel files. It'll now be the case that anything that's in our personnel files, we have a right to see, and in addition, if there's anything there that we think needs explanation or needs rebuttal, we can provide that in writing, and that has to be included as part of our personnel files. Another gain for us is highlighted here in X313, and that is optional peer observations. By our choice, we can have a peer evaluator from our own or a closely related discipline come to observe our teaching. Now, why might we want to do this? Well, it may be that our department chair may not have an area of teaching expertise in the subject matter that we teach, or it may be that other lecturers are better able to comment on and provide direct feedback for some of the innovative pedagogy that we're using or some of the classroom tools that we're using. So it may be to our advantage to have someone else, in addition to a chair or program coordinator, come in and evaluate us on our teaching. This also will go into our personnel files within 2 weeks of the assessment. Another significant win here can be seen in X3131. What this outlines is who our peers are. So faculty at the rank of lecturer may be evaluated by senior or principal lecturers, as well as by associate professors or full professors. Senior lecturers may be evaluated by senior or principal lecturers, as well as associate professors or professors, while principal lecturers may be evaluated only by principal lecturers, associate professors, or full professors. This is another win for us. This allows lecturer faculty to have input into the evaluation of other lecturer faculty. And one of these other activities that we'll be completing in addition to our teaching, our professional and service activities, as well as any substantial administrative service. Well, those will be evaluated on the basis of our chair's assessment. We're going to be meeting with our chairs every year. So in our annual reviews, in our annual meetings, we'll be meeting with our supervisors to discuss what we've done on the basis of the plans we developed when we were initially assigned those duties. So we'll be assigned duties, then we'll know what is expected of us, and then at the end of that review period, we'll get back together and talk about those things. All along in our process of developing this collective bargaining agreement, we've been keeping in mind the goals of objectivity, fairness, and transparency. Having annual evaluations, having annual meetings with our supervisors, knowing what it is that's expected of us, and knowing that we're going to be evaluated on the basis of the activities that we've been assigned and that are explicitly agreed to, goes a long way to helping us achieve these goals. Now, the reviews of us will be going to the college dean and going into our personnel files. What is outlined here in X34 is that prior to this review going to the dean, the department chair will be holding this review meeting where the lecturer faculty and the department chair can discuss the results of the chair's evaluation. Now, this can be waived if a lecturer faculty chooses to. It may be the case that you're feeling like you're doing really well, and having that time to meet with your chair doesn't really seem like it's going to be in the best use of your time. But this is a win for us. We can elect not to meet with our chairs, but this puts pressure on our chairs to review us candidly and transparently. This means that if there's something that we're not doing well, we need to be told that. Getting candid, respectful, and objective feedback is really quite important. Additionally, we want this to provide for us to have more opportunities for professional development. And further, we also are using this meeting as a formal documentation of what the review is. Following this annual review, the department chair is going to have to sign and date the summary report, and the lecturer faculty member will also sign this document to indicate that we've received this. So this is a win on our part again. We know what's being said about us, we know it's being counted in our reviews, and we have the opportunity to rebut this if we feel that this is something that isn't fair or isn't adequately capturing our performance. Again, working toward the goals of objectivity, fairness, and transparency, within 90 days of the ratification of this collective bargaining agreement, the administration and the union will jointly create university-wide evaluation criteria. So this means that all of us will know what the criteria are, what the evaluation process is going to include, and how that's going to unfold. From the union's perspective, this is another gain for us. This gives us more of a say in how we're being evaluated and what those evaluation processes are going to be. In addition to performance reviews, this article also specifies details of promotion. Many of us have not had access to a promotion structure, but that's about to change. What will now be the university standard is a 3-tier promotion process. There'll be lecturers, senior lecturers, and principal lecturers. Details about the composition of the promotion committees can be found in X4.1. An important point to bear in mind here is that these committees must include a lecturer. And what about when promotion can occur? In X4.2, you'll note that there are no minimum or maximum numbers of years in order to qualify for promotion. Once a lecturer has met the promotion criteria, they can be promoted. As a rough guideline, however, it will be typical for the process of promotion for a senior lecturer to be initiated in the 7th year of continuous or cumulative employment as a lecturer, and it will be typical for someone to be considered for a principal lecturer promotion in the 6th year after they have been a senior lecturer. In the article governing appointments and assignments, it's noted that initial hires of lecturers don't necessarily have to just be made at the rank of lecturer. Someone can be hired new at the rank of senior or principal lecturer. So, because we can be hired at higher ranks, we also advocate that if someone feels that they would like to be considered for promotion in a different timeline, they certainly should consider doing that. As is the case with other elements of this CBA, there is going to have to be development of new promotion criteria. This is going to happen at the college level. Each college is going to be responsible for developing the criteria and the processes by which promotion will happen. Now, these will be consistent with overarching university guidelines, and this is in accordance with X4.1. An important point here is that representatives of the lecturer faculty will be actively included in the creation of the college and departmental promotion criteria and processes. And the timeline for this? This is going to need to happen within 4 academic year months following the ratification of this CBA. In practical terms, this means that promotions will be happening likely in early spring of 2016. Also happening that spring will be the review and reassignment of all incumbent lecturers. So those who previously didn't have an opportunity to be promoted will be reviewed, and their promotions can then take place. Though this review will be happening in the spring semester of 2016, any promotions awarded under this will be retroactive to the start of the academic year 15-16 year. Moving forward, we also need to know how ongoing promotions will take place. Accordingly, in X4.4, what you can see is that by February 1st of each year, the promotion committee will submit its recommendation to the dean, and the dean will inform the lecturer candidate who's going up for promotion about the decision by March 15th. The last 2 pieces I'd like to highlight about this article concern the grievance process if someone goes up for promotion and is not promoted. The union wants to be clear here. We cannot grieve a promotion where the candidate does not meet the criteria for promotion. An important protection for lecturer faculty, however, is that if a candidate seeks promotion and they are not promoted but can prove that the processes were not properly followed, or that the college's approved criteria were applied in an arbitrary or capricious manner, then we can grieve this. And finally, something we really want to stress here is that there is no up or out policy for lecturer faculty. You do not have to be promoted to keep your job. We want lecturer faculty to advocate for ourselves in terms of promotion and all of the other provisions of this new contract. But if we don't want to be promoted, we don't have to be. We can still have job security. For more information about appointments and appointment lengths, see the article on appointments and assignments.